He says, there is no fear of God before their eyes. This is the source. This is the source of all of mankind's sin and problems. Without a reverent fear of God, Solomon said that the beginning of knowledge and wisdom is the fear of the Lord. You figure out life, you really figure out what it's all about. Without that reverential fear of God, the absence of wisdom increases. It leads to increasing mental confusion, which leads to moral and spiritual darkness. And we step back and we look at these few verses and we say, what an awful picture of the human race, and what an accurate picture of human history Paul has painted. Folks, when this video is replayed in God's holy courtroom one day, the response on the part of humans will be predictable. Man's arrogant pride and angry rebellion against his creator, just like that sailor so many years ago, are going to melt with overwhelming shame into absolute silence before God. Paul says, verse 19, now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so that what's going to happen? Every mouth may be closed in that courtroom, and all the world may be accountable to God. God's final verdict on mankind's sin, one day God will silence all the excuses, all the rationale, all the justification for evil, and throw it all out of court. And God's verdict on unrepentant mankind will be given guilty as charged. Pagan man is going to be guilty by evidence of supernatural creation in which he gave no honor to God. No honor. Rather than honor the Creator God, man chose to honor himself, devolving into something much less than God intended. Indeed, choosing to worship creatures down to the bugs that he trampled upon with his feet. Moral man will be declared guilty by evidence of his selfish conscience because he gave no thanks. Rather than thank God for his offer of mercy in light of the overwhelming evidence of guilt, man chose to overlook his flaws and think that he was sort of good enough. Third, religious man is going to be deemed guilty by evidence of scriptural commands in which there was no obedience. Rather than obey God's commands, man chose to ignore his own glaring hypocrisy, trusting instead in his self-made religious rules, trusting in his self-made religious rituals, and trusting in his own self-made religious routines, rather than trusting in a living relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ.